Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft. Okay, I want to apologize for this not being on Thursday, but I had a schedule change at work and it threw everything out of whack for my days off. So when I was supposed to go shoot videos, I had to work, etc. I'm sorry for the delay. I try to be consistent on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, but I live in the real world like the rest of you, and sometimes they just don't line up. So we're going to do the best we can. Now, I've come back today because I've been doing some experimentation with my new hammock. For those of you that missed my other video, I'm upgrading my hammock. I'm trying to go to a bigger, more comfortable hammock, something that's going to do more of the type of camping I'm doing now easily and give me greater options. And what I've gone with is this One Wind hammock, and I've put a link in the description box to my former video if you didn't see this, so you can be brought up to date. But what I'm learning is about the whoopee sling up here on the top. Now what this is a cord that's going to run from the top of the hammock down to the foot of the hammock, and this is going to carry the load just like a Hennessy hammock does. It's taking the load from one strap and running it to the other, and this has, I think, the literature said a 2,000 pound braking limit, so it's going to hold. But it has what's called a whoopee sling, and I'll give you a close-up of that in a minute. But what that means is, you remember them old Chinese finger puzzles? Well, the end of the cord has run back through the diamond braid of itself a nice long length. And when you put it under tension, it squeezes and keeps the cord from sliding. So you can slide it forward or back as long as it's not under tension, and then it locks when it goes under tension. You don't need a knot or anything. But what this does in this hammock is, it allows you to adjust how much sag it's got, how nice and wide and comfortable it is. If you're one of them people that likes to lay flat of your back straight, or wants to sit kind of catty corner or whatever, I tend to roll over on my side and pull my knees up. So I like it to be kind of saggy in the middle a little bit, just my personal preference. And so I've been experimenting with this, of adjusting it, and I think I've got it figured out now about where I want to be. But it's given me more comfort in this hammock, and I've slept in it 4 nights now. And I got really good sleep in it. The first night, of course, it's a little new. You know, you're trying to try something out, it's a little different. But I slept in it last night and it was perfectly fine. Now, the carry bag that you put the hammock into and you take it out of is where you can leave the mosquito net on the hammock, and then when you don't want it, you pull it to the foot and put it into the bag so it's kept clean and out of the way and you're not tripping over it, and it doesn't get damaged or whatever. But thus far I've been very impressed with it. But I have made one discovery, and I'm sure you guys out there that's got more experience with these straps than old Blackie can help me out with a couple of questions. One, I take the strap and I run it back through itself. I got that. And then I pull it through this buckle. I got that. But once I get this thing under really good tension, getting the buckle to slack back up, it was kind of a pain, because I couldn't pull it and slack the slack at the same time. So I had to come up with my own little innovation, and let me show you what that is. I did a timber hitch. Instead of passing it back through the loop like I did on the other end, when I cinched this thing up, I think the second time that I used it, I mean, I cinched it up. It was nice and tight, and I slept in it all night. And the next morning I went to get up, and I couldn't get the buckle to slack up. That little narrow buckle doesn't give you a lot to purchase on, and this strap is stiff, so you couldn't just put it and it go and it come loose. It didn't do it. And so I had a devil of a time. I had to improvise something, get enough tension on it to pull it backwards to finally slack it. So I'm going to come up with something else. I may put a carabiner on this end to come around and hook to it, something I can unhook easy. But in me being Blackie, I decided what'd be a quick and easy down and dirty? A timber hitch. Now those of you that don't know a timber hitch, it's where you take and go around and then you loop it back over itself. I showed you this recently. I hook packs up like this. I do several other ways like this. And all I have to do is yank this and it unwraps and drops all tension. So if I yank that like a quick detach, this will fall right off the tree. And so this is going to be rock solid, because the tighter it pulls, the tighter that binds it to the tree. It ain't coming off, but at the same time, I can get it off here. When I put the on it, it will come off. Here's a close-up of the buckle, and it's a good strong buckle, but there isn't much lip right here for me to grab to unlock it once this thing gets cinched up good and tight. And I put this safety half hitch in here so it can't slide back through the carabiners. But once I get this sucker pulled blood tight, you got a tough time getting enough slack. This thing don't give a lot. This is good straps and good nylon. When they say it don't stretch much, they ain't kidding. This thing don't stretch hardly at all. And so when I got it really tight, I could barely get it out of here. So what I did was come up with that on the other end of doing the timber hitch. Now as you can see, here's the line coming from the buckle to the gather end of the fabric. And it's really good fabric. And then you've got this is the end of the whoopee sling. And here's a good up close of the whoopee sling itself. You see that this end just passes back through it all the way up to here. Now I haven't figured out, I'm sure you guys are going to tell me, what the bead's for. It appears to be a little too tight to put that end into, and I'm sure it has some sort of usage. I guess you could hook something here and kind of bind it with that or something. I'm not sure. Please leave in the comments and tell old Blackie what the bead's for. I'm sure it has a use. I just haven't figured that out yet. But the cord runs the full length of it, and then let me pull back a little. Here is my entire mosquito net pulled inside, and that's still attached to the line. As you saw, it just passes over this, so I can put the entire mosquito net in here. And when I roll it up, I put the mosquito net on and then I roll it up. And here's my other buckle, and the other end of that whoopee sling is hooked right there. And these little bungees that somebody asked me, they're being used to keep the strap rolled up when it's rolled up to go in the sack. And my little pink cord here is how I tie up the hammock, and I'll show you that in a minute. How right here is nice and big. It's got a pocket there, a pocket there, and then it's got sewed on this end. On the other end is two more mesh pockets, and then on the end there's this big pocket where you could stick, probably could stick a small sidearm in there. So that's a possibility, you know. And there's also on one of these ends, there's that little clip I showed you earlier. I think it's right up in here. But it's got the loop already insulated on it for carrying something. So, I'm very happy with it thus far. It's very comfortable to sleep in. It seems to be doing everything I want. Now, by me adjusting this cord, remember before when I sat down, it hit me in the back of the head. By me adjusting, it gives me more head clearance. Now I got about, one hand width, a fist width over my head. So to get in and out of the hammock, I'm not banging my head into it. But, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, the next question that's coming up for this. How well it's going to do in the winter with that underquilt? Don't know yet. How well is it going to do in a storm? Don't know yet. I know these wider straps are going to grab more water than my paracord that I used on my other hammocks. And so when rain is running down the tree, I've got to deal with that. Now I've got a good place there for water to drip off where I put that ½ inch at the buckle, and when it hits the buckle it should drip. And I could probably put me a couple of paracord drippers above that to catch water running down from the tree before it gets to my hammock. And of course I've got a tarp to go over this to make it more rain worthy. So it's a work in progress. I'm just bringing you an update of what I'm doing with it. Now, it's a lot wider than the hammock that I'm used to. So wide that I can easily lay sideways in this thing. I can just about, I think my ankles will hang off if I go absolutely sideways. I could probably set it up like a taco if I had an overhead limb and be able to get into it like the ones you see down in Central and South America. Whew, it's hot out here, guys. I'm sweating like a pig. But that's the question. So, to my followers, question, what's the bead for? And is there some sort of trick to these buckles that I don't know? It seems to me they hold very well, but how do you get them off without having to use a tool or something once you cinch it up? Now for tie down straps and stuff like that, you have that ratchet strap. And I thought about incorporating one of those into this, but I think my quick disconnect down there of the timber hitch is where I'm going to go with it until you show me something different. So if you know a trick to get these type of buckles on and off easily, if you know a fast disconnect that will get this on off and off the tree quickly, tell me about it. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Woodscraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.